Weird. Broken any
Broken
stories?
any stories tonight?
Only the usual. Mayor Thomas trying to slink out of the speakeasy. Frankie Needles crashing his car into a fire hydrant. Nothing that'll get me the front page.
Hey, I got a hot lead for you.
Oh? What is it?
I can't tell her that. It could get him in trouble. What was that song you were singing earlier?
Do you like it? I wrote it myself. It really gets the toes tapping at the Stay Sober Society meetings. Although I suppose that could be the Shakes. Would you like to hear it again?
Sure.
I knew if I waited long enough, somebody would request it. You say you've lost your self-respect, but you should care. It's not too late to redirect and start to care.
That's right, I got interrupted
Despise
before.
the good and pure. Time to
The
rise
look.
up from the sewer.
The look.
Wash off all that foul manure. Show the
Those are
world
some
you
good
care.
rhymes.
You should care. You should care what people think of you. Of goals that you could name, reclaiming your good name is what you ought to do. You should care. You should care.
How long is this?
If your reputation is in disrepair, it's not going to hurt you to reclaim your virtue, for you should care.
Ugh.
Catchy.
You really think so?
Yeah, it's, got a good hook to it.
One needs a good hook if one is fishing for souls.
What's going on with you and Emmett? The last time I saw you, you seemed to be kinda interested in him.
That was before I belatedly realized that his agreement to host my Stay Sober Society was a clever ruse to ferry barrels of hooch to his so-called laboratory.
Sorry about that.
Now
Oh,
his
she
very
knows what's up.
presence fills me with an irrepressible urge to pick at his philosophical and intellectual foundations
Hey, what's up,
with
Frankie?
every tool in my vocabulary.
So you're not dating.
Welcome to
Dating?
our...
The mere thought of romantic
5
involvement with that undisciplined
of this nonsense?
techno-anarchist is preposterous.
Good.
Okay, so... Let's talk about
What's
Tannen.
Kid Tannen been up to for the last 2 months?
Didn't you hear? It was in all the papers.
I've been, traveling.
Well, the feds were all set to arrest Tannen on tax evasion charges. Seems they'd gotten Tannen's books from his accountant.
I heard something about that, yeah.
Well, the accountant disappeared, unsurprisingly. But the feds still thought they had a case. After all, they still had the books, right?
Right.
Wrong. The day before the trial, the books up and vanished right out of the court's evidence locker.
Oh,
No.
really?
Lots of fingers were pointed, but honestly, the whole town's so corrupt that it could have been anyone. Court clerks, cops, janitors.
Well, we kind of need her to talk too much so we can actually figure out what's going on.
So Kid's walking around free?
Free, clear, and laughing it up in his new speakeasy. The feds want to bring a case up against him, but without those books, they've got nothing.
So we gotta find the books.
Couldn't Kid be brought up on other charges like, say, running a speakeasy?
In a perfect world, yes. But no one in town seems to care about prohibition anymore.
Fair
The
enough.
feds are only interested because of the lost tax revenue.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've had it on PC for a while. I figured I'd, you know, good time as any to get around to it.
Do you know anything about Officer Danny Parker?
Parker? Just another soul lost to the twin vices of booze and despair. I've asked him to tell me his story for my column. Sort of a cautionary tale, but he's never in the mood to talk to me.
Is he sad that he let Doc get away?
Do you know anything about Officer Danny
Oh, wait,
Parker?
I just asked that.
Parker?
Sorry.
Just another soul lost
Can't
to
skip,
the twin
sorry.
vices of booze and despair. I've asked him to tell me his story for my column. Sort of a cautionary tale, but he's never in the mood to talk to me.
But yeah, thanks for stopping in. Trixie.
You wouldn't happen to know anything about Trixie Trotter, would you?
Kid Tannen's latest conquest? Well, she claims to be a lounge singer from Seattle, but my sources in Washington have never heard of her. I mean, honestly, Trixie Trotter, what kind of name is that?
Whatever happened with that speakeasy arsonist?
I was about to ask you the same question.
Me?
Oh, yeah, it's coffee.
Don't play coy with me. I may not have any
I started early,
journalistically
so.
acceptable proof, but I know you had a
We're
hand
gonna be
in
going through a
Carl
lot. I'll probably have
Sagan's
to start
daring
another
escape
pot
from the
about halfway through the
authorities.
night. Oh.
Didn't you think that Sagan was innocent?
I used to, but after he escaped, 2 more speakeasies were torched in Colfax and Georgetown.
That's
What?
just a coincidence.
Coincidence? Or is our friend Carl a serial arsonist?
It would be more than coffee, but I don't have anything else to put in the mug, so... I drank all my Patron XO, which is a shame.
I'm pretty sure that Carl Sagan didn't start those fires.
We'll see. One of the reasons I'm camped out so close to Tannen's new speakeasy is it gives me the chance to catch the arsonist in the act. It'd make a great story for my column.
Okay, game. Feel free to freeze for a second. That's cool.
What have you got against dogs anyway?
I never got
They're
codes to get into the
smelly,
speakeasy.
rude, completely unable to take care of themselves, and frankly, they're not very bright. If I had my druthers, dogs would be banned from public places.
I've only done this is the
Harsh.
second episode. There
It's
were
a
no
harsh
codes.
world, Mr. Crockett.
And if you're giving me hints, don't. Please. Blind playthrough. Try to keep it blind. Alright, so... See if any of these
I
do
got a hot
anything.
lead for you.
I know I couldn't tell her about
What is it?
Carl. G. Yeah, I'm not surprised that I would need codes to get into the speakeasy to get into the speakeasy.
I can't tell her that. It could get him in trouble.
Alright, so I can't use that one either.
Hey, I got a hot lead for you.
Oh, what is it?
But yeah, I think you're further
Been
ahead.
Tannen arrested.
Oh, glorious day! When did it happen?
Well, it hasn't happened yet, but it's gonna.
Keep me posted.
Alright, so I think we're done here.
See ya.
Keep fighting the good fight.
See what Emmett's up to. Doo-doo-doop-doop-doo.
Sonny, you're just in time.
How have you been, Emmett? I know I haven't seen you in a couple of months.
Oh, that's right. We didn't take Einstein
And
back
I
with
will
us.
be
That's why
doing-
he was still here.
Really?
Yes, that argument I had with my father during our jet drill experiment gave me the incentive to finally quit that dreary court job. I've committed myself full-time to a life of science.
So, thanks for watching Einstein while I've been away.
It's been a pleasure. He's proven to be a surprisingly willing test subject. It's almost as if he's been working with me for years.
More like decades. What's the story with the little car and all this equipment?
Alright, and his audio cut out. That's weird.
A
Also misspelled Hill Valley
radio-controlled
Expo.
car.
No. Well, yes, but there'll be so much more than that. It will amaze the world. Aha! Got it!
Got what?
I'll show you. Ready to go, Einstein? Watch this. When this baby hits 23 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious cow flop.
He made a hover car.
Einstein!
Oh,
Get him out of there!
not to worry. I've got a fail-safe eject mechanism around here someplace. See? Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, it is. That is the stuff from the lab, actually. You're right. I don't see the bellows in there, but I did see the little electricity fork.
I'll go see if I can find something to help. Or someone.
Gee, that might have been a hint to talk to Doc. Just throwing that out there.
Don't worry, Emmett. I'm sure you'll get it right someday.
Oh, I'm not worried about that. Right now, I'm more concerned with Einstein.
Alright.
What went wrong with your rocket car?
I'm not entirely
So we'll stop and
sure.
talk first.
As soon as we get Einstein down, I'm gonna go look for it.
Why don't you go look for your car now?
And leave Einie stuck on a ledge? Never! Dogs are much more important than any silly rocket car.
But we could get him
Actually, one
down
that
with a
doesn't work at
rocket
all.
car. That kind of worked.
What's up with you and Edna? A couple months ago, I could swear she was making goo-goo eyes at you.
That was before my father had her stay sober society meeting thrown out of our house. Now she takes every opportunity she can get to snipe at me and my work. Very distracting.
It's called building atmosphere, bud.
Do you know anything about Officer Danny Parker?
My pop says he's a good cop when he's not drinking.
If you're just going from point to point to
course,
point,
now I hear he
then
drinks
there's
all the
really
time.
no point. It's kind of boring.
You know anything about Trixie Trotter?
The songbird of the Sierras? The nightingale of the north? The floozy of the foothills? Never heard of her. Man, I've definitely never snuck into Tannen's speakeasy to listen to her.
Never once. Alright, oh wait. I asked about Parker, but I wasn't paying attention.
Do you know anything about Officer Danny Parker?
My pop says he's a good cop when he's not drinking.
Okay,
Good.
Of course, now I hear he drinks all the time.
that's good. Alright,
Can't you just go into the courthouse to get Einstein?
If I still had my job...
it doesn't work there
but
anymore.
Lately, a lot of evidence has gone missing, so they've installed new locks. Now the place is sealed up tighter than my dad's wallet.
Great.
Well, I'll go off and see if I can get some help.
You do that. I'll stay here and see if I can think of a way to get Einie off that ledge.
I think that's the only thing that's carried over. I mean, those... Yeah, that's the only part that was carried over from the other one. Oh, wait, the pipes, too. Okay. But it doesn't look like anything else, at least, unless it's up top, but... So there's a salvation station. You can just look at the station?
Donate to the Clock Tower Fund. What's wrong with the clock tower? It's not broken, is it?
Not in the slightest.
Whew.
It's just painfully drab. I'm raising funds to commission a sculptor to place a couple of handsome ornamental statues on either side of the clock face. Something to inspire the citizens to do their civic duty.
Something like lions?
Or gargoyles. You can't beat a good gargoyle.
You can't be a good gargoyle. Okay. Yeah, there were no codes earlier. The only reason I got in there was because I was in a crate. Alright, well. Docks it here. I didn't look at this before.
O'Malley and Sons.
Okay. Oh.
Hey, Doc. How's the room?
It's a little cleaner than I would have imagined for a Depression-era flophouse. How are your investigations going?
I haven't really made any progress with Trixie yet.
Well, get out there and make some. If she doesn't blow the whistle on Kid tonight, he may never be brought to justice.
Why didn't you tell me I'd run into your younger self tonight?
Because I don't remember being out here tonight. Clearly, your interactions with my younger self 2 months ago have slightly altered my personal timeline. I never had the nerve to perform public experiments like he's doing. No matter. Those experiments will be forgotten once I've seen Frankenstein.
Frankenstein?
Yes.
Oh, so I gotta get
Himself is
Einstein
clearly
down and then
around
get
down
him
there.
to watch the
Rocket
movie.
propulsion systems for his demonstration at the expo.
The thing that'll kick off your scientific career.
Exactly. Now, the rockets are a horrible idea, and I'll soon realize that they'll never work. But eventually, I'll wander into that movie theater and see Frankenstein and clear my mind. I've kept the ticket stub from that movie in my wallet ever since. See?
Okay.
Why?
Because it's during this movie that I'll have the inspiration for my breakthrough at the expo.
It doesn't
Is he
have
gonna
anything to
bring
do with
something?
reanimating
Yeah, I
the
was gonna
dead,
say.
does it?
Not the way you're thinking, no. But during that famous scene when Colin Clive turned the wheel that raised that shrouded figure into the tower, and that bolt of lightning struck, well, let's just say more than one brain was reanimated that night.
Okay. Einstein.
Emmett's not having much luck getting Einstein off the courthouse.
I'm not surprised. Einie's a smart dog, but heights give him the willies.
What can we do?
I've got it.
What?
Just get my younger self distracted, and I'll handle the rest.
Okay.
Where'd you park the DeLorean?
I hid it in the DeSoto lot. Nobody's buying cars these days, so it should be safe in there.
Nice. About the arsonist.
Hey, who did burn down Tannen's original speakeasy anyway?
I still don't know. I'd really like to find out before we go home.
I don't think we're going to find that out to the last one. Why
I
1931?
never did get a straight answer about why he came back to 1931 in the first place.
It's, personal. When this is over, I'll tell you all about it.
I'm gonna hold you to that, you know.
Did he actually hook up with Edna?
Can you explain all this? I'm confused.
It's very simple. In the original timeline, Timeline A, the speakeasy arsonist was never caught, creating one of Hill Valley's enduring historical mysteries.
Okay.
When I traveled back to 1931, I created Timeline B, in which I was misidentified as the arsonist and subsequently killed by Kid Tannen's goons. Einstein came with me, and somehow he ended up in the DeLorean when its failsafe mechanism triggered, sending it back to 1986.
Which is where I came in.
Precisely.
Basically, they're just explaining the last episode.
1931, creating Timeline C, a world in which Carl Sagan wasn't rubbed out by Kid Tannen, but Arthur McFly was served with a subpoena.
And shot by Kid Tannen's goons.
Yes.
Actually, he was beaten,
Back in time
not
in 6
shot.
hours, creating Timeline D, saving your grandfather's life, but somehow preventing Kid Tannen from meeting his date with justice.
Which is why the Tannens were so powerful when we jumped back to 86.
Uh-huh. So now we've returned to August of 1931, creating Timeline E, in which, fingers crossed,
Well, happy
we'll send
birthday,
Tannen
bud.
to prison where he belongs. Got it?
Sure.
Good.
One question.
What?
Can you explain all this? I'm confused.
Alright.
Why are Tannens always such jerks anyway?
It's hard to say. Rogue Neanderthal genes in their DNA, perhaps.
Okay, so we're done here.
Just keep your head low, Doc. I'll be back soon.
I'll keep an eye out for your grandfather.
We gotta find a way up there. Oh, banner.
Hill Valley Expo, October 12th through the 15th. Doc says the expo was the day he officially became a scientist. Seems like he's running a couple months ahead of schedule.
Okay. Oh,
Cool. Frankenstein.
alright, so we gotta get Emmett to... Well, we gotta get me not to run to an invisible wall. What items do I have on me? The lighter... Am I the arsonist? Well, I didn't burn the first one, but... Also, I have this word puzzle. Maybe I could throw that at Emmett. To explain a few things. Hey, Frankie, thank you for the host. I caught on the post. Oh, God. Controls are so not that great. Alright, we definitely need to get Einstein down before anything else. Oh, so you weren't going into this blind.
It's locked. Guess I'll have to find some other way to rescue Heine.
I mean, if you're gonna apologize, at least, be honest about it. I mean, I had the card, I didn't know there were codes.
This is no time for word games.
Maybe Edna can get him down? Does she know where I can get a ladder? Okay.
Edna.
What?
Still, watch what you tell me about, because... Spoil too much,
See ya.
Keep fighting the good fight.
and I will tell you out.
This is no time for word games.
Okay, well... Oh, pamphlet. Did I look at the pamphlets? I think I did.
What's all this?
These are my pamphlets. laying out in scientific
No, this is
detail
different,
the
okay.
horrors visited upon those who succumb to the temptations of alcohol.
Lost Fortnite.
I am particularly
This was actually the
fond of
beginning of the
that one.
episode
It
where I
tells
found
the
that, I think.
true-life tale of Johnny, who woke up in a
Yeah.
pile of his own sick, completely unable to remember the previous 2 weeks of his life.
Heavy.
Actually, the pamphlets are quite light. See?